Hi there, welcome back to Data Lab Works channel. Today, I'm going to discuss about domain name, and I will try to explain why scammers use identical domain name to fool the victims. Scammers can exploit top-level domains to deceive and defraud individuals in various ways. While not all websites with uncommon top-level domains are scams, some scammers use non-standard or less common top-level domains to create an illusion of legitimacy or to avoid detection. Let's get started. A domain name, also known as web domain name, is a human-readable web address used to identify and locate resources on the internet. It serves as a user-friendly way to access websites, email servers, and other online services. A domain name typically consists of two main parts. Domain name identifier. This is the unique name chosen by the owner or administrator of the domain. For example, in the domain example.com, example is the domain name identifier. Top-level domain, TLD. The top-level domain is the part of the domain name that appears after the last dot. It often indicates the type or purpose of the website or resource. Common top-level domains include .com, .org, .net, and country-specific top-level domains like .uk, for United Kingdom, .fr, for French, .in, for India. Together, the domain name identifier and the top-level domain form a complete domain name. For instance, example.com is a complete domain name. Domain names are used to replace numeric IP addresses, making it easier for users to navigate the internet. When you enter a domain name into a web browser, a domain name system, DNS, translates it into the corresponding IP address, allowing your computer to connect to the desired web server. Domain names are essential for branding, online presence, and creating memorable web addresses for websites and email services. The domain name can be easily identified from the URL. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. URL is a reference or address used to access resources on the internet. A URL is a string of characters that provides a precise way to identify and locate a particular resource, such as a web page, document, image, or any other file hosted on the World Wide Web. URLs are fundamental to the structure of the internet and are used by web browsers and other internet-enabled applications to retrieve and display web content. As mentioned earlier, there are several types of domain names, each serving different purposes and often reflecting the nature or focus of a website or online presence. Here are some common types of domain names to dive deeper. Generic top-level domains, GTLDs. These are the most common domain types and are not tied to a specific country or territory. Some popular generic top-level domains include .com for commercial, .org for organization body, .net for network, .edu for education, and .gov for government. Country code top-level domains, CCTLDs. These are specific to individual countries or territories and are often used to indicate a website's geographical association. Examples include .uk for United Kingdom, .ca for Canada, .jp for Japan, and .o for Australia. Sponsored top-level domains, STLDs. These are specialized domain extensions typically created for specific industries, organizations, or communities. Examples include .gov.in for government entities in India, .edu.in for educational institutions in India, .aero for the aviation industry, .museum for museums, and likewise. Numeric domains. Numeric domain names consist of numbers rather than letters. These are often used in certain markets, like China, where numbers have specific meanings or associations. For example, 172.com. Internationalized domain names, IDNs. Internationalized domain names allow domain names to include characters from languages other than English, such as accented characters or non-Latin scripts. For example, a domain in India, Hindi script might look like Bharat.in, and, in Russian Cyrillic script might look like .com. Subdomains. Subdomains are extensions of the primary domain and allow for additional organization of websites. For example, blog.example.com, where blog is the subdomain. It's important to choose the right type of domain name based on your goals, brand identity, and target audience. Your domain name is a crucial part of your online presence and can impact your website's visibility and accessibility on the internet. Scammers often use top-level domains as part of their tactics to deceive victims. They may exploit top-level domains in several ways to create a false sense of legitimacy or to make their fraudulent activities less conspicuous. Here are some common ways scammers use top-level domains for deceit. Number 1. by impersonation of trusted entities, scammers may register domain names with top-level domains that closely resemble well-known and trusted brands or legitimate organizations. They aim to deceive victims into believing they are visiting a reputable website. For example, they might use .cm instead of .com or .org instead of .org. Number 2, scammers may use country code top-level domains for countries with less stringent registration requirements. These domains can be registered without providing accurate contact information, making it challenging to track down scammers. Victims may perceive these domains as more trustworthy, assuming they are associated with specific countries. Number 3, obscure or rarely used top-level domains. To avoid suspicion, scammers may choose top-level domains that are uncommon or rarely used. Victims may be less familiar with these top-level domains and may be more likely to trust them, thinking they represent a legitimate website. Number 4, typo squatting. Scammers register domain names that are slight misspellings or variations of popular websites. They then use these domains to lure users who make typing errors when entering URLs. These domains often employ alternative top-level domains to impersonate well-known sites. Number 5, short-lived or disposable top-level domains. Some top-level domains allow for short-term registrations, such as .tk, .ml, .ga, and so on. Scammers create disposable websites for fraudulent purposes, knowing that the domain will be discarded after a short period, making it challenging for authorities to trace them. Number 6, new generic top-level domains. With the introduction of new generic top-level domains like .app, .online, .top, and .xyz, scammers have additional options to register domains that may appear legitimate. Users may be less cautious with these new extensions. Now that you know about the top-level domains information, then, what's next? How are you going to check yourself away from scammers? Be skeptical of websites with unfamiliar or non-standard top-level domains. Double-check the URL for typos or unusual characters. Verify the legitimacy of websites before sharing personal information or making financial transactions. Reputable domain lookup tools such as whois.com, who.is, etc., to investigate domain ownership and history. Be cautious of unsolicited emails or messages that contain links to websites, especially if they use non-standard top-level domains. While many websites with non-standard TLDs are legitimate, it's essential to be vigilant and conduct due diligence, especially when encountering unfamiliar domain extensions. Scammers can run predatory journals, often referred to as fake or predatory publishing outlets, with the primary goal of making a profit by exploiting the academic publishing system. Here's how scammers typically operate predatory journals. Number 1, minimal or no peer review. Predatory journals often claim to provide rigorous peer review but, in reality, conduct little to no meaningful peer review of submitted manuscripts. This allows them to accept low-quality or even nonsensical research papers for publication. Number 2, high publication fees. Predatory journals often charge exorbitant publication fees, sometimes in the thousands of dollars, which authors are required to pay to have their work published. These fees are a significant source of revenue for scammers. Number 3, false promises. Scammers make enticing promises to authors, such as rapid publication, guaranteed acceptance, and the opportunity to boost one's academic career. They prey on researchers' desires to get published quickly and gain recognition. Number 4, deceptive websites. Predatory journals often create professional-looking websites with fake editorial boards, conference announcements, and journal metrics. These elements are designed to give the appearance of legitimacy. Number 5, spam emails. Scammers send unsolicited emails to researchers, often using aggressive marketing tactics. They may claim to have reviewed the recipient's work and express interest in publishing it, even without seeing the manuscript. Number 6, inflated or fake metrics. Some predatory journals create fake impact factors, indexing services, or other metrics to appear credible. They may also list their journals on deceptive indexing databases they control. Number 7, poorly maintained websites. While some predatory journals have professional-looking websites, others are poorly maintained, with broken links, outdated information, and grammar errors. Number 8, fake contact information. Scammers often provide limited or false contact information, making it challenging for authors to reach them or verify their legitimacy. Number 9, bulk publishing. Predatory journals publish a large number of articles, often without regard for quality. They prioritize quantity over quality to maximize revenue. Number 10, Lack of ethical standards. Predatory journals do not adhere to ethical publishing standards, such as addressing conflicts of interest, respecting copyright, or following proper peer review procedures. Number 11, duplication and plagiarism. Some predatory journals accept duplicate or plagiarized content without proper scrutiny. Number 12, resistance to corrections. Predatory journals are often resistant to correcting or retracting published articles, even in cases of serious errors or ethical violations. Researchers may protect themselves from predatory journals by carefully evaluating publishing opportunities, conducting due diligence on journal legitimacy, and seeking advice from trusted colleagues or mentors. Reputable academic institutions and organizations also maintain lists of trusted journals and publishers to help researchers avoid predatory outlets. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I'd greatly appreciate your support by subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, so you'll be the first to know when I release informative content like this in the future.